Welcome to Power New. Today we'll be talking about how gas is transformed to power and how that power gets to you, the customer. We'll also be looking at the value chain. Who are the players in the power sector value chain? What do they do and how do they affect you? Please, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, click the subscribe button and don't forget to also turn on the notification so you'll be the first person to receive the video anytime a new one is uploaded on this channel. I'm excited about what we are going to learn today, and let's go. I'll be using this simple diagram to explain the Nigeria power sector value chain. You can see how the first step here, or the first player, is the gas supplier. How it moves from gas supplier to power generation, power transmission, distribution, and then the customer. And also this particular player here called embed. Let's start with gas. When it comes to gas in Nigeria, we have already established that over 80% of the power we use in Nigeria is from gas. And we have two types of gas, the associated gas and non-associated gas. Associated gas is the gas that you get during the exploration of crude oil. You didn't actually go there to explore for gas. It is during the exploration of crude oil that the gas comes with it. That's what we call associated because it's associated with crude oil. There's also the non-associated gas. The non-associated gas is found in its own reservoirs, independent of crude oil, and is the most reliable source of gas, but we haven't really developed it a lot in Nigeria. When that gas is produced, whether from associated or non-associated, it is sold to the generating companies. That's what we call GENCOs here. And there is an agreement between the gas supplier and the GENCOs called the GSA, Gas Supply Agreement. What a gas supply agreement simply documents is it tells the GENCO that I'll supply you this volume of gas at this price within this duration and through this medium. Both parties sign that agreement and it becomes binding on both of them. Now, when the GENCOs get that gas, they use it to produce power. When that power is produced, it is transmitted through the TCN to the discos, and then the discos will distribute the power to the customers. There is this player here, which a lot of Nigerians do not know about. It's the financial player. When the GENCOs produce their power, they don't just transmit it or sell it to TCN directly. MBET, which stands for Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company, they buy the electricity in bulk from the GENCOs. Now, there is something we call the PPA, which is the Power Purchase Agreement. It is signed between MBET and the GENCOs. This Power Purchase Agreement simply documents that I will buy this quantity of electricity from you at X amount for X duration. That sort of gives the power generating companies the assurance to invest in their plant. Now, it means that any power that the generating companies are producing, embed buys it off of them. On the other hand, embed is not a distribution company. What do they then do with the power they have bought from the GENCOs? They sign a vesting contract, which is this, with the power distribution companies. And we have 11 or 12 power distribution companies if you add ABA Electric to it. Embed signs the vesting contract with the power distribution company, and the vesting contract simply says, power distribution company, I'll sell this quantity of electricity to you monthly or weekly at this amount for this duration. That then gives the power distribution company the assurance that this is the quantity of electricity they will get at every point in time. Now, if you look at it, when the gas supplier supplies or sells the power to the power generating company, and the power generating company has used that power, that gas rather, to produce power, they sell it to embed. Embed in turn transmits that power through the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, to the discos. Upon purchase of that power, the disco then distributes the power to the customers. When we look at all the players in the power sector value chain, starting with the gas supplier, we have a lot of gas suppliers. There are indigenous companies like Seplat and the likes that play in that space. There are also international oil and gas companies like the Shell, the Chevron, and the likes. For the Gencos, the same thing. You have Egbin, Shiroro, Geregu, and a number of them. But when you get to TCN, we have only one transmission company in Nigeria. The whole of Nigeria, only one. Which means that if anything happens within the network of TCN, the power that the Genco has produced will not be able to be transmitted to the disco. And as such, the customers will be in darkness. There will be total blackout. You can see how any drop in button along the power chain affects the customers. For the gas supplier, if there is vandalism of the pipeline, the gas that they have explored will not reach the Genco. And as such, the Gencos will not be able to produce power. And if the Genco is not able to produce power, there will be nothing to sell to embed to transmit through TCN to get to the discos and you, the customer. If you look at Transmission Company of Nigeria, most times a lot of us we hear about grid collapse, grid collapse. Grid collapse means, let me use the analogy of Third Mainland Bridge. Sometimes you experience gridlock on Third Mainland Bridge that all the cars, the vehicles will be at a standstill. Nobody is moving, everybody is just there. And when such thing happen, it affects other roads in Lagos. Bring that to TCN as well. When you have an issue within the network and the power is unable to move freely, that's where we say there has been grid collapse. And where there is grid collapse, and because we have only one transmission company in the whole of Nigeria, there will be no power. The entire nation will be in total darkness. This is how, when any player within the sector drops the button, it affects you, the customer. You might be wondering, who then regulates the sector to ensure each player within the sector, they are doing what they are supposed to do and nobody is abdicating responsibilities or dropping the ball. That is where the regulators come in. Today, we have NERC and the State Electricity Market. NERC stands for Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. And we also have the State Electricity Market. The State Electricity Market came into the sector as a result of the Electricity Act 2023, which empowered each state in Nigeria to regulate the electricity market within their own state. And as such, you will find in some states that they have two regulators, NERC and the state regulator, just like we have in Lagos. Lagos electricity market is regulated by both NERC and the Lagos State Electricity Regulatory Commission, LASEC. We will find that in those 15 states that have already set up their electricity markets. Now, the regulator, when I say the regulator, I mean NERC, regulates the GENCO, the TCN, and the DISCOs, ensuring they are playing according to the rules. They are like the referee in the power sector value chain. If you don't play according to the rule, you will be penalized. They are responsible for ensuring that everybody is doing what they are meant to do as at when they are supposed to do it. In our next video, we'll be looking at how the players in the power sector value chain are paid, from the gas suppliers to the GENCOs, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, and the DISCOs. It's going to be a very interesting and insightful one. Don't forget, please subscribe if you are yet to do so. Thank you.